Still standing. It's a good word, Father. And I hear it. I think about what's been transpiring for me for the last 2 weeks, personally. I got on a new assignment at work, and I was finding, after coming out of the training, like the first week, second week, it's like, oh my gosh, this is challenging. I just can't do this. It's just too hard. Because the things I have to do, it requires a lot of thought process, a lot of analyzing, a lot of details, and not missing on those details. And I got on the floor, I took my time, I looked at the work, I reviewed the notes as I'm out there. They give you like how you say, a grace type of period, a grace period to get it, because you had it all in the book knowledge part of it, but now you're implementing it. And in the implementation part, they give you a grace where, okay, this is, they have the expectation set a little bit lower than when once you get it, you get to a certain level. So they give you about 3 weeks to get that, and to be at a certain pace. And then from there, then they move you into another pace, and so forth and so on. So, you figure, 3 a day, that should be okay. I should be able to do that. And I'm finding that, it's not as easy when you just starting something and learning something and have to implement it and have to be concerned with all the things that you've learned and putting it into that work. And I remember coming home and I was sharing with my husband, I don't know if this is going to be for me. I just don't know, because I found it challenging. And I remember my husband saying to me, he said, listen, he sent me a text to encourage me. He said, you slayed the lion and the bear. He said, this is nothing to you. You went and you did your real estate, and that was a challenge. And you stuck it out, you studied, you went to the classes, you studied, you did that for, I think, 6 weeks, and then you turned around and took that exam. And it's true, that exam was not an easy task for me. It wasn't. And when we went to the class to do the real estate, they even talked about the statistics that, a lot of like 80% or somewhere about 75, 70, 80% people don't get it on the first try, the first time that they go take that real estate exam. They said they usually fail the first time around, or 80%. It's like a high number. It's just ridiculous. And I was like, wow, that's encouraging. And I was like, well, you know what, Father? I will leave this in your hands. I said, my desire is to not be in that percentile, that the first time I take the test, that I'll pass it. And the Father gave me the mind. I just rested in I just stayed at it. I studied it. I got up fresh early in the morning. I didn't play with it. I made my schedule for my test, my exam, my state exam. I got up. I went and took an exam at 7 o'clock in the morning. And they give you, I believe they give you 2.5, 3 hours to do the exam. And it's only 100 questions. So you could imagine. They're giving you 3 hours to do an exam, and it's only 100 questions. Yeah, so I did that exam. The Father, I know He did it. They gave me that thing, and I was done. I took that to that lady. When that lady they don't tell you what your score is. They tell you fail or pass. That's it. Yeah, fail or pass. And she put that thing on the table for me, and she generated my thing and gave me my sheet of paper. My paper said pass. I was like, woo! And I really truly believe that today I can get that same experience of pass, that stamp of pass from the Father, just by standing still, as my husband said, and see the salvation of the Lord. Go in there, give it my best, give it my 100%, give the quality, and give the numbers at the same time. And do it without feel in a defeated mode, but do it with confidence, that I have confidence that I can do it. Because if I did that, Father said always to put him in remembrance. And I found how my husband, what he did was he put me in remembrance of what the Father had done for me, even in that situation. And here I am today in a different situation, but same concept. That I can, that in him, I can do it. And if I stand still and allow him to do it, because it's so above my head and so beyond what I think I can do in the flesh, that I know it has to be the Father. That when the end results that I get, it has to be him. And I remember the encouragement my husband gave me before I went in for this week. And it was on a Monday, this Monday that just passed. He said, this is what you're going to do. This is from the Father. You're going to do this, this, and this. And this is how many you're going to get today. And he said, just follow those instructions. And I had to not get in the way of those instructions. As tough as it was, I did those instructions without letting my mind infiltrate what I was told, and to keep my focus on those instructions. And as I kept my focus on those instructions, I was able to tell my husband, okay, I did above the goal today. I did above the goal. And he said, you see? And so, I thought about, I said, wow. Then the next day, I didn't make above the goal. I just barely made the goal, but I made the goal. Then the next day, I didn't quite make the goal of what they were asking. But each day, I was giving it all that I got. And I was taking all the feedback of anything that came back. And I was fixing them. I wasn't getting that many feedback. But the ones that I did in fact get, I put that in my Rolodex, and I just keep it moving. And so now, after this message, is so interesting, because this message that my husband just shared with us today, it was yesterday morning about 4:30. On my mind, I'm wide awake, and I'm like, why am I thinking about work and how to process my work? And then I stopped, and I thought, I was trying to shake it like, that's the devil. I didn't want to talk about that. He's just trying to make me get in and talk about work, and I'm on my weekend with my family. I don't want to talk about that. And then I stopped I had a pause moment, and something within me was like, no, that's the Father giving me, showing me certain things. And I stopped and I paused, and I saw where he was giving me more instructions on how to even fine tune and how to be better, and how he would help me quickly grasp what it was that was given to me, the task at hand. And to the point where at the end of the day, I can't give anybody the credit. I can't give myself the credit. I can't even give the knowledge or the wisdom that was given to me in the training the credit. I have to give it to my Father, because only he can do it. The information is in there, but only the Father, the information that was put into me, only the Father can put it out or make me execute it in a way, help me to execute it in such a way that it would blow the minds of other people watching me do it. And so I just thank the Father for allowing me to get this message today, because now I can hold on to that. The fact that I can just really stand still, go in, give it the best that I got, and allow the Father to work. Don't complain about it. Don't sigh about it. Don't gripe about not getting it, but going in there with his confidence, not confidence in my flesh, but confidence in my Heavenly Father, that it can be done. And he's going to show it to me. So not only would other people wonder, but even I would be in wonder. Like, wow, this is so awesome. This is definitely true, Father. And he would have proven himself to me again. So I just thank the Father for his word on standing still, taking his direction, and let him, and then see the salvation of the Father, and not me trying to do anything.
From the Father. Speak.
What I got from my dad's walk, I can relate to what he was saying, but I think it was Monday or Tuesday, but I was like in the game room playing the game, and a boy walked up and said, "Get off, it's my turn." And I just stood there and kept playing. He said, "I'm gonna push you off," but I didn't say anything still. Then he went over and unplugged it, and I went over and plugged it back in and kept playing. And then he said, "Oh, forget this," and walked away. So I can relate to what my dad was saying because I didn't like push him away or tell him that I just started. I just waited to see what he would do, and then like stood still. That's kind of.
Hi, what I learned today. Well, basically, I have something very similar to what my sister said. I was also in the game room, and there was a girl in my age group who I guess had a grudge against me because the other day I was on the. It was my turn to get on the little racing game, and she said that it was her turn, but it was actually my turn. And so once I got the coach and she settled things, and she said that it was actually my turn, then I guess she was mad at me, and so she kept messing with me. She kept putting her foot on the brake so that I couldn't go faster, and she kept whispering in my ear, and she kept talking to me. She kept saying, I hope you get in last place and stuff like that, and she kept messing with me. And then the next day, I went up to the window to look outside the window, and she was sitting there, and she said, "Hannah, all the teachers said that you have to play. I'm gonna go tell on you." And I said, "Okay, go ahead." And she just stood there, and she started yelling at me. And what I could have done was I could have stayed silent like my sister did, and stood still instead of responding to that ugly voice and becoming it, because that's basically what happened. She yelled at me, I yelled back, but eventually around when she was just getting louder and louder, I just stopped talking to her, and and she just went away because the Father had protected me from that ugly spirit that was in her. And I think it was maybe like 1 or 2 days ago, when Daddy had us all sit down, and he talked about how ugly spirits would try to get into me, Renice, and Sierra because they were trying to get to my dad, and the only way that they could get to my dad was through us. And so our dad said, because my sister, she wasn't acting very nice that day, so my dad said that wasn't you, Sierra, that was an ugly spirit that jumped on you, and it caused us to take. And when it acted ugly like that, it would cause Renice and Daddy to take it out on Sierra as a person. But like Sierra said, if you're facing an ugly spirit like that, then you just need to stay silent and not respond to it, or else you could become it. And that's basically what I did.
Good job. Girls are pretty good shoppers using your personal experiences. That's great, because that's what this is about. Now my father desires to close.